Hi, welcome from Australia. My name is Chrissy, and in this video I'm going to be giving you a channeled reading for the 9th of February leading into 2022. So I just do updates every couple of days because, as we know, things can really shift a lot, and I just like to see what energies are kind of coming through. Now, we all know there's huge freedom fighting going on at the moment right around the globe. The Canadian truckers have certainly inspired so many people in different countries to stand up and rise up against the tyranny and the dictatorships that are currently going on around the globe, and trying to really get our freedoms back, because that's what we are wanting. We want our freedoms back. And I think, you know, if you look at New Zealand stepping up, Australia, gosh, I've been to protests here, they're still going on. There's a big convoy this weekend if anyone wants to come down to Canberra, the capital of Australia, and get involved in that protest. People are standing up for their rights, and a lot of this push is against, obviously, mandates. But I'm just going to close my eyes and we'll just see what comes through. So I'm getting that real united front. So there's this huge movement forward. And there's still, I'm getting a lot of purging. There's a lot of people that are still playing the victim in all of this. And they're still scared, they're full of fear. There's still a big proportion of the population that is still full of fear around the virus, and that's a very real thing. You know, I've talked about that before, that if you don't take those glasses off, you're not going to see this for what it really is, and a lot of people are still really trapped in that energy. So the message is kind of to also be very respectful of other people's emotional states, because you can really trigger them a lot. If you're trying to push too hard, it's that resistance thing. You get that resistance back. So it's saying, don't push your views onto other people. Just be you and stand strong in your own energy and your own power. And that's a very clear message. Don't try and put this onto other people, because people have to kind of wake up and they have to see things at their own pace and when they're ready, because that's their journey, it's not your journey. So focus really at the moment only on your journey and what you're putting out and what you're emitting. So they're saying that the old, like they're showing me all the politicians and the people who are kind of ruling at the current moment, the conquering and divide has not worked. Yes, it worked temporarily, but people are uniting again. And this is what I said, this is what will happen. We will divide and then we will reunite. It's what has divided us that will bring us back together. So this is about unity. That's something I'm definitely getting really strong, is that they tried to conquer, but and divide us, and it hasn't actually worked, because people are actually rising up now, and this is about strength in numbers. I feel like Canada has foreign ministers coming in and stepping in. I feel like there's showing me like these foreign ministers of the different countries or the different states are coming together, and they're trying to come up with a plan. Now, it's a plan to kind of take to the dictators. So they're actually mapping out some, it's almost like they've got a few plans. So there's like plan A, plan B, plan C, plan D. Oh my God, you might go to plan Z, but they're gonna try and come with different plans. So I feel like there's these governing bodies that are coming together to take some of these things to the Canadian sort of hierarchy. And this is America too. I feel like America's involved in a lot of this decision making, but there's definitely, they're trying to be diplomatic in their approach and how they can sort of softly and gently support the truckers. I feel like they're trying to support the truckers with some positive outcomes. They don't want this to reach like a crazy enormous scale that's going to be kind of unmanageable. So I feel like there's a lot of these governing foreign sort of ministers and people trying to put things together and get things right and sort of please the masses. So this is about kind of trying to please everybody. You know, you've got this group over here and you've got this group over here, but they're trying to sort of find that middle ground where they can start to create avenues that they can sort of mesh everybody back together, because they can see that these people are starting to unite and they're getting stronger and stronger, and they don't want this to get out of control. They want to sort of take back some power, and it's by trying to implement like plan A or plan B, that they feel that they can take this sort of to Congress and make these implemented changes that can just sort of bring a more of a calm energy over everybody. I'm getting that Germany is really struggling with tourism. Germany was a place where it was very popular to tourism, and I'm feeling now that they have really felt the pinch of this. Germany has had some very, very harsh restrictions, and I feel like it's tarnished their kind of reputation in the tourism industry. People aren't wanting to go there, and basically this is not just Germany, this is in a lot of places. The tourism industry is really suffering, and it's really hurting, and it's almost like they get going on the grid and then they just get stopped again. It's like it's almost like showing like a power outage. So they get going and then the power's cut and then the industry stops again. So they've had a lot of this stop start, and it's making it really, really impossible for the tourism industry to thrive. And I think you'll find there could be a lot of collapsing around these industries, especially I'm getting Germany. Germany has really suffered. It was a real tourist hub, and now it's gone very quiet, and the streets are very quiet, and I feel like there's just been too many changes, and the people are fighting back. I feel like in Germany there's a really big fight back now to get their life back to normal and to start to open up and get the rest of the world involved. I mean, Germany is somewhere that I feel has really, really suffered a lot during this pandemic. Australia is really fighting back for our freedoms. I might as well talk about Australia since I'm living here. Australia is really fighting back for their freedoms. Now, there's a lot of people who still have their head buried in the sand, and unfortunately there's not much we can do until they decide to pull their head out of the sand and see what's really going on. But there's a huge amount of people who feel like they have been coerced and they have been forced through mandates and these kind of things to have taken their liberties away. And people don't like it, and people are standing up and fighting that good fight now. So here in Australia, I think in the next week we're going to see really big changes. The protest march last week was really big here, but I think you're going to see the enormity and the scale of what's really going on out there, and the changes that are starting to happen, and the reactions that this is going to have on other people, because I think people aren't aware, and as we know, media doesn't show it, but there's an enormous amount of people that have lost their jobs, lost their livelihoods, their businesses have closed. So much has gone on here in Australia, and I know you guys have probably seen it over there as well, that people are standing up now. They don't want to live in tyranny. They don't want the dystopian society. They want to have this input into the decisions and where their lives are heading, and that's something that I'm really getting through, is this the enormous scale of these coming few weeks and the uniting of people coming together to fight, you know, what we should have, these human rights that we're actually fighting for. It seems crazy to me, but that's what's going to happen in the next few weeks. This energy is really taken off now. It's just getting bigger and bigger and bigger, and it's exploding, and there is no stopping it. And that's thanks to the Canadian truckers. They have created this huge movement right around the globe, and the truths are starting to come out, and the truths are starting to be heard. I feel like there's finally going to be some funding starting to pour through for the vaccine injured. There are a lot of vaccine injuries out there that are not being talked about and not being shared. People are going to start to show that empathy and kindness to people, because I can see that they really understand now the enormity of what, like Big Pharma has not backed and supported any of these people that were taken out of the trials. So I really feel like that's going to start coming really out in the open now, and people are really going to see like what's been going on in the background, and it's going to be bloody ugly. I don't care what anyone says, this is going to be an ugly shitstorm about to happen. So be prepared for it, because it's going to come washing over people like a bloody tidal wave, and they're not even going to know what the hell has even happened. People's glasses are going to get literally just washed off now, and they're going to just see what the hell enormous bloody scam and bloody con this has all been. So that's something that I'm definitely seeing, is this is just an outpouring now of the truths. Now I'm getting, like, for anyone who's seen that guy in front of the it's showing Tiananmen Square. So when that one person stood in front of that tanker, it's footage that you can probably Google and or YouTube it and you'll find it. He stood up against a large tanker that was coming towards him, and this is a memory that is etched in a lot of people's minds, because it is showing you that one person, if one person stands up, it can make a difference. I know we think sometimes we don't have the power against these powerful people that are running our countries and that, but we actually do, and it only takes one person to make a difference. I know here in Australia we've got a guy, Avi, that works for Rebel News, and he has made a huge difference in this country. He tells the real news, he puts the real stories out there, he gets real footage, he interviews real people, and these are the things that people are wanting now. That one person, whoever it is, even you can make a difference to this by standing up and fighting for your rights and your freedom. That's something that I'm definitely seeing. That image is etched into people's minds of that one guy that stood in front of the tanker in China, and he would not move. And that's what we've got to do. And that's what brings that power. Like behind that guy, people stood with him. They got behind him because they could see that injustice of what was actually happening. So this is what I'm saying. You might be one little person thinking you don't have any power and any strength, but you do have that power and strength. And know, if you're watching this video, that somewhere inside you is that burning desire to stand up and make a difference, then go do it now, because you're on the right side of history, and you don't want to be going down that road of tyranny and dystopia. And we're getting just digitally, gosh, I don't even know what's happening. They're getting rid of money and all this sort of thing, and it's all cryptocurrency and it's all just digital everything. It's getting overwhelming for people to even face those sort of things. So I think you've got to know that as one person you can stand up and make a difference for the future, for the kids, for people's health. This is becoming a big health issue now, and you've got to really be true to yourself and your beliefs, and don't get discouraged by what people are saying. I always talk a lot in my videos about finding that support and that like kind, because that's how you stay strong. And by being squashed by other people, that's not going to help you. You've got to rise up, and you've got to stay really strong in your beliefs and your truths and what you believe. And I talk about it a lot as well, is listening to your gut feelings and listening to your intuition and following that path, because you do not get misinformation from your own body. It tells you a lot. So just stay on that path, and that's just a clear message that I'm getting, is to just be true to yourself and stand up. That one person can make a huge difference in this world. So they're showing me now, like the fireworks. So there's like this explosive kind of fireworks in the air, and there's popping and there's loud sparks, and but it's showing me in a positive way. This fireworks, if you think of fireworks when you go to the New Year's Eve fireworks, for example, here in Sydney, like it's a huge event in Australia as it is around the world. That brings joy, that brings happiness, that brings that change of a new year. Well, that's what they're showing me. These things that are going on around the globe, the freedom fighting and the truckers and the Aussies and the Kiwis and the Germans and Swedish and everyone who's standing up now in America. I know you guys are doing it as well. There's a lot going on over there. This is what they're showing me, that we're going to get to that fireworks, and there's going to be this explosive energy, but it's going to be really positive, and it's going to move us all into a great frame of mind, move us forward. We'll get our freedoms back, and this is that turning of the year, like the New Year's Eve celebrations. This is a turning point. This is going to be a turning point in history, and the Canadians are leading the way, and we are following behind them and putting more and more positive energy on this and with them, and we stand united in this front. So look, please keep fighting. I know these battles can be really hard, emotionally very draining. I got a massive headache when I came back the other day because I was so overwhelmed from the protest in Canberra, where there were hundreds of thousands of people. So stay strong, keep fighting the good fight. We've all got this. Shout out to Canada and all those people watching out there from Australia. I'll keep you up to date with what's happening over here. We've still got the convoys and people coming from all states to Canberra, the capital city, to meet at Parliament House to try and make these changes and get our freedoms back, because that's what our life's about. Life is about freedom and moving forward. It's about our kids having their rights and their freedoms and their voices heard. So stay strong. I will see you in that next video. Hit the like buttons. Let's keep these things moving around. share this video if you'd like to. Subscribe to my channel. I do my regular prediction readings. I've got some on Trudeau, Canada truckers, and lots of self-help videos as well. Go and check those out, and I'll see you in that next video. Have a fantastic day. Bye from Australia.